I never really paid close attention. Like, I knew it was important to buy made in America. You know, I knew that was important to do that. But I really kind of haphazardly, frivolously, you know, put my money into things that were not American made.
When I was in my 20s, I worked in the men's store at a department store in Indiana before I moved off to New York. And I worked in men's, like, you know, men's suits and accessories. And a lot of men would come in and buy their suits and accessories and dress shirts and ties. And a lot of white men only would always take the tie or the shirt or the undershirt, and they would look at the label, and they would always, you know, I would tell them the deal, and then they look at the label, they wouldn't buy it because it didn't say made in the USA. And I never used to understand that. I was thinking, because I just wasn't savvy like that. I was a young girl, you know what I mean? And I would be like, okay, but it is on sale. You know, that's how it would be like, you know, and they would be like, no, it has to be made in the USA. But they would always do that, and it stuck with me. And we actually had Trump ties.
Yeah,
because Trump in the 90s had a
suit line.
He had a suit line, but in our store he had accessory lines, you know, like little hankies and things. His were not made in the USA, and Trump admits that his stuff was made overseas. But you know, the thing is like, now I see why they did that.
I would call my own self out about this, because I am America First person. I am a Make America Great Again person with MAGA, you know, and if I'm going to, it would be hypocritical of me to sit back and like just not pay attention to what's American made. And so I feel like if I'm gonna say, yeah, America first, you know, I'm an America First person, I do need to pay attention to the things that I'm buying and making sure that the majority of stuff that I am buying or investing in or whatever, that it's, you know, made in America. You know, you guys, I'm not a person who has a career. I have a job. I'm not like making a ton of money in that way. So I'm in the working class. I'm saying this even as a working class person doesn't make a ton of money, right? I would much rather pay more money and go through this whole thing with what Trump is doing, you know, and just pay more money for something than, you know, and kind of fight it out, rather than, you know, just turn my back on American products just because it's cheaper.